What's the first thing you hear in your mind when you hear the word digital media? Your iPhone, Android, computer, Facebook, a simple website. If you want to be corny, your digital watch. If you thought about something along that line, then you're on the right track. What truly defines digital media is the content that is created within the digital arena and the fact that it is accessible through the World Wide Web. Ultimately, the digital media we interact with on a daily basis keeps us connected all over the world. Right before our very eyes, digital media is reshaping the globe by force. Not literally, but because we rely on it ever so often, it makes change mandatory. But let's single out this part of the world, the Caribbean. And what I'm going to be discussing is how beneficial digital media can be to the Caribbean and how the Caribbean can increase the weight of its footprint in the digital world. First of all, just like everybody else, we have our unique culture that we are known by. In other words, our identity. But outside of our realm, who knows who we really are? But before I talk about that, do we know who we are? As small as we are on the globe, we nonetheless still have our contribution to make to the world as a whole. The content that is shared today on the World Wide Web is accessible on the nearest smartphone, tablet, or computer and has made learning so much easier as opposed to relying primarily on books that carry weight and couldn't be transported from point A to point B on a whim. Don't you agree? The benefits of that? Many curriculums and syllabuses of educational institutions now require the use of digital media, not simply to follow a trend, but the content available makes the schooling process much more easier and efficient. Outside of school, much more information is made available to everyone that has access to the World Wide Web. Businesses now have the privileges to reach a global audience and market and sell products in a more cost-efficient manner. Government bodies in islands can now provide services online, employment opportunities, and consider new options for diversifying the economy. From what was said earlier, different methods can be implemented to increase the weight of the Caribbean's digital footprint. A digital footprint is the data trail that has been left by the interaction of digital media through the use of mobile phones, television, internet, and other digital media devices. One thing to bear in mind before foot is set on the ground is to create a concept of creation and implementation not only for local consumption but also for the digital market. Therefore, it would be necessary to provide content that would meet the demands for the global market. But what content should be shared that creates a unique identity for the Caribbean on the globe? Here's an answer. Content that represents the richness of the culture. Isn't that simple enough? But let's go back to the education system for a bit. Because the content awareness that was made available because of the World Wide Web, potential can be explored, especially by the upcoming generation, to create and share that content again that meets the demands for the global market. Within that context of what our culture has to offer, businesses can now be innovative in providing services that only the Caribbean can offer. Unique as it is already, the knowledge obtained through schooling, businesses can now invest into more effective ways to advertise their content and meet the demands for the global audience. With the emerging trends of digital media, the sister islands of the Caribbean can now become closely linked to each other in body, mind, culture, and in one voice with the shared information about the various aspects of the culture. Now, the islands aren't separated by the oceans, but are now connected by a hyperlink. With the quantity of the content, the Caribbean can now create its own digital world. With that privilege in the very palm of one hand, literally, we can now make our identity known worldwide. Digital media is the way.